Saral Japani, Japanese learning made easy. Minasan, konnichiwa. Hey friends, how are you? Welcome to Saral Japani YouTube channel. This is a place where we talk about Japan and Japanese. And this is the series called Elementary Japanese, a crash course for JLPT N4 and N5. In this course, we are going through the textbook Elementary Japanese written by Professor Yoko Hasegawa, and we are taking that book as a reference for preparation towards JLPT N5 N4. We started with lesson 1 and now we are in lesson 2. This is the third lecture of lesson 2 and the sixth lecture of this series. Lesson 2 is about self-introduction and there are several subtopics in that. In today's lecture, we will cover the rules of foreign word conversion using Katakana script. And we will look at how the syllables are handled, how vowels, consonants, and long consonants are handled while converting foreign words such as English words or any other foreign words into Japanese through the Katakana script. This is the front page of the book Elementary Japanese Volume 1 by Yoko Hasegawa, and the names of the supporting authors are also mentioned here. This is the content of lesson 2. The green box indicates the content that we have already discussed in the previous two lectures, and we had started the katakana syllabary in the last lecture in which we introduced the various characters, and today we will take it forward and understand how to use the katakana syllabary to convert foreign words into Japanese using this writing system. So first is the syllable structure. In Japanese, all consonants except na must be followed by a vowel in order to form a syllable. This you already know. For example, the consonant k cannot exist independently in Japanese. There is nothing called k. It's either ka or ku or ki or ko, some like that. Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. There is no k sound. The k sound cannot exist without a vowel on its own. This is Japanese. By contrast, most other languages do not have this constraint. For example, English allows three consonants to appear in a row. For example, take the word strike. So here we see STR. These are the three consonants which appear one after the other without a vowel in between them. So now if we want to write this word in Japanese, how do we write that? Because there is no independent S, T or R sounds in Japanese. All of these have to be followed by a vowel sound. So in order to represent strike in katakana, we need to insert a vowel after the S and T and K as well. The default vowel for such an adjustment is U. So by default, we use an U sound after the consonant sound in Japanese whenever we try to convert a word from English to Japanese. But the thing is, if we put a U after T or D, the consonant itself changes in Japanese. For example, if you recall the T and D lines in hiragana, ta, chi, tsu, te, to. Da, ji, zu, de, do. So these are the two lines. So now, as you can see here, it has been blocked, the tsu sound. So it's no longer tu. It's not ta, ti, tu, te, to. It's ta, chi, tsu, te, to. That means if we use the u sound after the T, then the consonant itself changes. It's no longer the T based consonant. It's a ts based consonant, which is not correct and which would make the English word even like the Japanese word, the corresponding Japanese word even far away from the English word. So we cannot use U here in case the consonant is T. So instead what we do, we use O. So we will use to, not tsu. We will use to because it will be still nearer to the English word pronunciation. And same goes with the line daji zu dedo. Instead of zu, we will use do. So do is still nearer to the than zu. Thus strike becomes sutoraiku. We don't say sutoraiku, we say strike only. But if you want to break the sounds, then it will become sutoraiku. So sa, the s becomes su, the t becomes to because of this rule. Then this is rai. So rai becomes rai remains as rai. So ra e. So there is no issue in that because we have the ra sound, we have the e sound. So rai is okay. And then at the end we have strike. So although it's an e after k, so that doesn't mean that in Japanese you will use k. We will use ku because although the letter E appears last in spelling, there is no vowel sound following the K in pronunciation. So it's strike. So that means it has to be treated as a single K. Assume that there is no E at the end because of the pronunciation. So in Japanese, it will be ku because of this rule that we use U for an adjustment. So strike becomes suto raiku. It is explained here as well. So after S, we put a U to make it su. Then after T we put an O to make to because of this exception. Rai is Rai, and then we have last K and E. E doesn't give any uh, vowel sound in the English word. So that's why we cannot use A sound in Japanese. We use U sound in Japanese. So it becomes ku. This is ku. So sutoraiku, stariku, straiku, strike, strike. So when you pronounce it in Japanese, so you won't say sutoraiku, but you will say sutro, sut, straiku, strike, strike, like that, strike. So this is the fundamental rule of conversion from katakana, sorry, from English to katakana. So this is again the same thing. In some older loan words, E rather than U was added after a K sound. For example, take the word cake, cake. So as you can see here, it's not keku, keku. So from the previous slide, you would wonder why it is not U sign, why it's not keku, but it's keiki, keiki. Similarly, for jack, it is jakki, 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 to jack up. Then we have steak, so it is suteiki, suteiki, suteiki. Then we have deck, dekki, dekki, dekki. In fact, strike is written in two ways. One with u, sutoraiku, meaning a strike in a baseball game, that is to hit the ball, and the other with e also, sutoraiki. So see here, it's ku here, but here it is ki, sutoraiki. So that means a labor strike, for example. That means it's a noun. So here this strike is a verb which means to hit something, and this strike is basically the noun which indicates a labor strike or any other strike. So these are some exceptions which you need to remember, especially the cake thing. So whenever there is such kind of words, you use key sound instead of u sound. So cake. Okay. Then the second category, how to handle vowels during conversion of English words to katakana. When an English word is borrowed, all English vowels must be categorized into one of the five Japanese vowels. So in English, there are many vowel sounds. It's around 15 vowel sounds that we have in English, but in Japanese, we have only five. Then what does that mean? That means we have to translate each of those, or we have to map those 15 English vowel sounds into one of the available five Japanese vowel sounds. So that makes the pronunciation of the English words very, very peculiar when we convert them to Japanese because of the limitation of the vowel sounds in Japanese. unlike other languages where there are equivalent sounds available. For example, in Hindi or in French or other language, we can conveniently pronounce English words using Hindi characters or any French characters or Spanish or anything. But in Japanese, because of the limitation of vowels, it's very difficult. Some English vowels are inherently longer than others. Compare live and leave, for example. They have different vowel qualities, but to the Japanese ear, both sound like E. Live and leave. So this is not live basically, it's to live like that live. So live and this is leave. So this is the smaller vowel and this is the longer vowel. Shorter vowel, longer vowel. Live and leave. So in Japanese there is only one sound which gives the E sound. But on the other hand, because the Japanese language makes a distinction between short and long vowels, native speakers are particularly sensitive to length differences. If they hear a vowel as being long, the word is represented as containing a long vowel. Long vowels are written with the symbol, a straight horizontal line inserted after the syllable. That means if you have to write leave or for example here it is heal, then what you will do, we will write he, then we will write a dash like this, and then at the end we will write the ru sound. So why lu becomes ru, that we will see in a later slide, but as of now it will become hiru, hiru. It will be pronounced as this and the writing will have a straight horizontal line, and it will be perceived by the Japanese as a long I. So let's take some examples. First one is ice cream. How do we write ice cream in Japanese? You can see here this boy is enjoying his ice cream. So ice cream, as you can see here, aisu kurimu. So you can see here because ice cream, so cream, here we have a long e sound like cream, ice cream. So it will be aisu kurimu. So when we write it in Romaji, we just put a bar, a top bar over the I. And when we write in Katakana, after re, it comes this horizontal symbol, which means it's a long sound. So aisu kurimu, kurimu, re, re. This is re, and this is together is re. It's a long vowel sound. Aisu kurimu. This man is skiing on the snow. So it's ski. If we want to say ski, then it's ski. Suki. So it will be ski, ski, ski. So you might remember we had learned about the devoicing of vowels. So similarly, here also there is devoicing. We do not pronounce it as su, but ski, ski. So the vowel has been devoiced. The vowel u in this su has been somewhat devoiced. So that's why it is not suki, it is ski. Now sneaker, this shoes, pair of shoes, that is sneaker. So we call it in Japanese as sunika, sunika, sneaker. So again devoicing is there. So it's not sunika, it is sneaker. So since there is a long vowel here, ni, so it will be, ni will be followed by a dash sign and ka. So this again we will learn later in this video why this r has been replaced with this dash here. So we do not say call it as sunikar but sunika, sunika. So this is another rule which we have not yet learned. We will be learning it in a couple of slides from now. Sunika. And similarly this is cheese, cheese. So chizu, chizu. This is the G sound. This is the long vowel chi, and this is zu, zu, cheese, cheese, cheese. Again, there is a devoicing of vowel here, so it's not chizu, it is cheese. Now, next is the E sound, as in hill. So this is the small E sound, short E sound. to be precise. As in hill, E as in hill is perceived as a short E, hill. So for example, this is television. In Japanese we call it terebi, terebi. So it's just the B sound here. Tennis, tennis, tennis. Milk, mirku, mirku. As you can see here, everywhere there is the E sound. There is a there is no horizontal bar here. Mirku. Piano, piano. It remains as piano. Very simple. Then we have, for example, the word hail, hail, a, hail. So such sound is perceived as a long E or less frequently as a. So this comes here, the example, keiki, keiki. So this is a. So we have to write the E based character of Japanese, and it will be followed by a dash. That means we have to elongate that syllable. So it's keiki. Similarly, table becomes teiburu, teiburu, teiburu. So why this la sound becomes ru, that we will see in a later slide. So teiburu. For now, just focus on this. So table, as in hail, cake, table, teiburu. Airmail. So airmeru, airmail, mail. So it's a. So air meru, meru. So that's why after me there is a horizontal bar. Raincoat, raincoat, raincoato, raincoato, raincoato. So you can see here rain, hail, rain. So a sound is there. So after re, it has been uh, followed by an E sound. So as it is mentioned here, a long E or less frequently as A. So it can be either E followed by horizontal line, or it can be the E followed by an E sound. So here rain, rain. So it's not rain. So if we put a horizontal bar after re, then it becomes rain koto. But it's not the case. It has to be rain koto. So rain koto. So that's why it's written as a instead of a long a. Next is uh, bell, a. So this is a as in bell, bread, pen, test, desk. So it's the a sound. It is perceived as a short a. So it's again very simple. So bell will become beru, beru. Then bread will be bureddo, bureddo. So again we will look at the later part in a later slide. So for now it is the this is the one which is of our interest here. So re sound. So bureddo, bread will be bureddo, pen will be pen, so pe sound. Test, tesuto, tesuto, testo. So te, su, to. So why it is to and not tu, that we have learned in the very first slide of the lesson, so you understand that. So test becomes testo. Then desk is desco, desco, desuku. So here it is ku. Now next one is hat, a. This is the a sound as in hat. It is perceived as a short a. So in Japanese, a in English will be perceived as a short a. For example, apple. Apple will be appuru. So a becomes a, appuru. Camera, ka. So it will become camera. Camera becomes camera. Bag, a becomes baggu, baggu, baggu. So ba sound here in place of ba. Similarly, plan, puran, puran. So in this way, the a sound in English word will be treated in katakana using the a sound. Next is o. It's the o sound as in not. It is perceived as a short o or less frequently as a long o. So for example, coffee. Coffee will become kohi, kohi. So you can see here, coffee is kohi. So ko, o will be ko. It will be a long o sound that is as is mentioned here. Then we have pot. Pot will be potto. 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 Pot is potto. So this is perceived as a short o. Robot. Robotto. Golf. Gorufu. Gorufu. So you don't need to panic because there are so many rules, so you may get overwhelmed with all of this information, but give yourself time and practice, and whenever you come across an English word, just try to think what will be the corresponding katakana word, and in that way the logic and the idea will come to your mind, and gradually you will understand how to pronounce or how to convert words into Japanese. So that will come with time. So no need to panic, or no need to be no need to panic in that sense. Next is old. So O, old, O, O sound is perceived as a long O. So old will be old. And then note, it's a note, O, O is the O sound, note. So noto, noto, noto. Toast, tosuto, tosuto. Boat, boto, boto. Loan, ron, ron. So there is no la sound in Japanese. It's always replaced with the ra sound. So this we have seen in the hiragana as well. So lo becomes ro. And since this is loan, a longer one, so it's followed by ro is followed by a horizontal bar to give the ron. Next is good. So it's the u. So it's the short u sound, and in Japanese also it is perceived as a short u. So although it's double o d, so it doesn't mean that it will be pronounced as good. It's just good. So it's a short u. So input, inputto. So there is no long vowels here. So it's simply inputto. So it will be pu, only pu. Cookie, cookie, cookie. It will be cookie. Cookie. So although there double O, but in the Japanese word it will be just ku. It's not cookie. It's cookie. Cookie. Book. Buku. Buku. So book, it's not book. It's just book. So it's buku. Similarly, bush is bushu. Bushu. So this is how we handle the small u sound. Then we have the long oo sound, which is, for example, in moon. So it will be after the oo syllable, there will be a horizontal bar. So moon will be moon in Japanese, and say this is the pool. That means a swimming pool. So it will be written as puru, puru, food, fudo, 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 room, rumu, rumu, rule, ruru, ruru. Okay, so this is very simple. So you have to write these down in your notebook so that you can look at these again and again whenever you have some time, and in that way things will start getting embedded in your brain. So that is very important. Just watching videos will not help. If you are a learner, if you are a beginner, then you must have a Japanese notebook and start writing these rules and these example words for each category so that you can keep mugging those pages and things get more and more firmly embedded on your head, in your head. Next is a sound, as in hut, a. It is perceived as a short a. However, if the a is represented in English spelling by o, it may be written as o in katakana as well. For example, as you can see here, as you can see here, computer, computer. So it is O sound here, ko. So it is written in katakana as O sound, computa. So let's look at the one that we are discussing, a sound as in hut. So America, it's America. Cup, it's kappu. Computer, it's computa. Truck, a sound. Again here, a sound, so torakku, torakku. So that means if it is and a sound, then also America. So for a, this we have seen earlier. If it is a, then it is a. If it is a, then also it is a. If it is o, then also sometimes it is, then it is o sound here. And if it is a again, like truck, it is the a sound, ra. So America, Kappu, Computa, and Torakku. Next is the I sound. I, as in ice. I. It is perceived as a combination of A and E. So this is very simple. For example, iced coffee. It will be ice kohi. Ice kohi. For same as in ice cream. So ice cream. Similarly, idea will be idea. Idea. Knife, knife, knife. Pie, pie. Next is ow sound, as in how. So ow is perceived as a combination of a and u. Again, this is very simple. Town, town. Dao, dao. House, house. Mouse, mouse. So this is very simple. It corresponds one to one. The sequence of a vowel and an r or r is perceived as the corresponding long vowel. The sounds in English bird and bard are represented by the same symbols in katakana. Both would be written and pronounced as bado, bado. So let's take some examples. Girlfriend. The first word is girlfriend. So it will be garu, garu, furendo, garu, furendo. So you can see here the first rule. The sequence of a vowel and an R is perceived as the corresponding long vowel. That means if there is a vowel sound before the R sound, then the R sound will be replaced by a long vowel. That means this dash. So there is no L sound here. So girl, it is garu. So this ru is for this L of the girl, not for the R. R is replaced with this dash. So I and R. That means a vowel and an R. So here the vowel is I and the R is here. So IR is represented with replaced with this dash and ga is there. So garu furendu. For similarly, we have apartment. Apartment is called apato. So since there is R after the vowel A, so this will be replaced with a horizontal bar and it will be apato. It will not be aparuto. It will not be aparuto. It will not be garuru furendo, but it will be garu furendo and this will be apato. Course. So again the same thing. We have O before R, so it will be kosu, kosu. It will not be korusu. It will not be korusu. It will be kosu. Similarly, circus, sakas, sakas, sakas. So it's not sarukas. It will not be sarukas. It will be sakas. So IR is replaced with just a long vowel, which is represented by this dash sign. This is a very important rule. Now we come out of the vowel section and we now look at some of the consonants, how they are treated in katakana. First is the F sound, the F sound. F by itself or with uh, a fu is perceived as hu and represented as fu because this has the most F-like sound of the syllables in this series. F with other vowels is written as fu. plus the following vowel in a small letter. So it is basically, we can say it is who. So this is the fu or who in katakana. So France will be furansu, furansu. Football will be futtoboru, futtoboru, futtoboru. Family will be famiri, famiri. Dolphin will be doru fin, doru fin. So earlier in the traditional Japanese, it used to be who, but when we write it in katakana, then we nowadays we pronounce it as fu only. So we do not say huransu or huttoboru or hamiri. No, not like that. It's famiri only. So it has been made relaxed in the modern Japanese. We do not use exactly the who sound. So anyway, family is family because fa sound is there. Um so so the line is basically ha he fu he ho. So this is fu basically in the Japanese language. I'm sorry, I just said it the other way. It's ha he fu he ho as we know. So this will still remain fu. So furansu, futtoboru, famiri, doru, fin. So here we don't have any fa sound, it's the ha sound, but here as you can see it is written as fu followed by a small a, so that makes it fa and it's no longer a ha, so it is fa. So that's the reason we have this in katakana which is not present in hiragana. In hiragana there is no such sound, so it has been specifically adopted for writing the English words. So this is fa, otherwise this syllable is ha in Japanese. Similarly, for dolphin, we have doru fin. Again, it should be he ideally, but since that would make the pronunciation completely different, so we have fi, and how we write it? We write it fu first and then a small e, because fu is the only sound in Japanese that has the fa part in it. So doru fin. So we do not say it doru hin, or it is not hamiri, but it is famiri and doru fin. So see, but when it is fu, then we don't have to add any other alpha or any other vowel unlike this and this, because it's already fu, and fu we have the syllable fu in Japanese, but only in case it's the other three, that is fa, fi and fo. In that case we have to add a, e and o after fu to get that sound. So some more examples: film, it will be firumu, firumu. Ferry or boat, it's ferry. So here a has been added after fu. And likewise California will be California, 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 it will be like this. So it will be fo, o sound. So everywhere we have fu, 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 but followed with e, a and o. And in the previous one we have seen a and e as well. So in that way we get all the sounds related to the fa or f consonant. Now the treatment of L and R. L and R are perceived as an R. So ball pen will be boru pen, boru pen. Cola will be cora, cora. Stereo will be suterio, and trumpet will be toranpetto, toranpetto. So this is how the la and the ra sounds are perceived in Japanese. So if it is la, it will become ra, as in ball pen and cola, and the ra sound remains as is. Next is the handling of T and D. In the authentic Japanese sound system, T plus I becomes chi. As we know, ta, chi, tsu, te, to. So it's chi. Similarly, D plus I becomes G, and T plus U becomes tsu. So these are the exceptions in the Japanese sound system. So this makes some of the English words very difficult to translate into Japanese. So what we do, for example, if the word is ticket. So here we need the sound T, but there is no T in Japanese. It's G. Then it will become chiketto. Originally it will become chiketto, but nowadays what some people are doing is just like the fafi fefo, we have tati teto as well by using the some manipulation like adding u with the ta sound we get tu, something like that is happening, but that was not there originally. So ticket was chiketto, music was music, radio was radio, and tu is written as tsu, tsu. So this is how you should handle these sounds. However, an interesting number of Japanese speakers pronounce t and d in the same way as English, as I just mentioned. This new pronunciation can be represented in katakana as this is tei, te plus e, it's t, and de plus e is d, respectively. Some Japanese write tu as to and u. So to plus a small u becomes tu. But this notational convention is not yet widely used, as I just mentioned. So t will be t like this, party will be party like this, candy will be candy, and tattoo will be tattoo. So these are not very common. The common rule is what we just discussed here. Next is the TH. So what happens when there is a TH in an English word? The initial consonants in thank and this are perceived as s and z respectively. Although in a small number of words, the voiceless th is represented as the. So what does all this mean? Let's understand using examples. First one is the theater. So theater becomes shiata, shiata, shiata. Theater is shiata. Because the is perceived as the th is perceived as s. So now if it is the, there is no c sound. It's she because sa she su se so. So we do not have anything c. So we cannot write the as c, but we have to write she. So theater will be shiata. Then three will be suri, suri, because again th becomes sa sound. Mother, maza, maza, because the sound will be mother, the will be za because of this rule. This maza. Then thank you will be thank you. Thank you will be thank you. So we just have to follow what is there after th. So if a, then this is a. It is e, then it is a long a. This is similarly the others. Then we have aromatherapy. So it will be aromatherapy, aromatherapy. And aesthetic will be aesthetikku, aesthetikku, aesthetikku. So it is aesthetic. So if you, after going through these examples, if you read this line again, then you will understand what this rule indicate. Next is the handling of she, j, and che sounds. So again, since these sounds are not present in the Japanese syllable system, so these sounds do not occur in authentic Japanese words, but can be represented in katakana as this one is she, this is j, and this is che. So this is, you can, as you can see, this is chi plus a, this is she plus a. So she plus a becomes she, and this is half size. Remember that the second one is not a full size character, it's a half size character. So she plus a becomes she, g plus a becomes j, and chi plus a becomes che. So chef will be shefu, jet will be jetto, like this, shefu, jetto, check will be chekku, and cherry will be cherry. Next is ya, you, yo. How to handle ya, you, yo. Some English words are like those represented in hiragana with a small ya, you, yo, and they are represented as such in katakana as well. For example, cash. So a sound, cash, it will be kyashu, kyashu. Shower, shawa, shawa. sha. So it will be sha. So it will be written using this ya sound. So just like we do in hiragana. Tulip, churipu, churipu. Church, chachi, chachi. In this way. Then the V sound. V is normally written as B in Japanese. Some Japanese want to make a distinction between V and B by writing the former as this one in place of uh, Wu. We write it this additional mark on this right top corner plus a vowel in a small letter. So these are examples. IV will become IB because there is no V sound in Japanese, it's the B sound. Vegetable will be bejitaburu, bejitaburu, bejitaburu. So violin will be violin or biorin. So both are correct. Violin. This is violin, violin, and this is biorin. So both are correct. So this is the U plus a vowel in a small letter. So this is the U sound basically. Wu sound. This is the Wu sound. It's not the U sound, it's the Wu sound. Wu and followed by A becomes makes it Wa. Y. So this is Wu plus A, it is Wa. Viorin or Biorin. Ye. Both in hiragana and katakana, Y occurs only with A, U, O. The syllable ye can be written as EA separately. So it can be written as E followed by a small a. So to give the pronunciation of ye. So yets becomes yetto, yetto. Then we have Jerusalem as Yeru Saremu, Yeru Saremu. Yel becomes Yeru and yellow becomes Yero, Yero. So everywhere you can see E followed by A to give the sound of ye, because there is no ye sound in Japanese, it's just the ya, you and yo. The handling of W. In hiragana, W can occur only with A, that is wa, because that line is wa o na. You remember? So only wa is there in Japanese. So how to handle the other words? But in katakana, other combinations are possible. So W is represented as this one, wa, and the following vowel in a small letter. So this is wiku, wiku, weak. West will be uesuto, uesuto. This is a sound, uesuto. So this is basically the u sound. So this is not wa sound, it is the u sound. So wiku, uesuto. Then square will be sukuya, 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 and then water will be uota, uota. So again, you have to practice this to remember what will be used and what not. So this is U character. It's not anything related to W sound. It's the U, because since except for wa sound, we don't have any other thing. So to give pronunciation to W based words of English, we take help of U followed by another vowel. So uiku, uesuto, sukuya, and uota. Next we come to long consonants. Like in hiragana, long consonants are represented by a small, this tsu, small tsu appearing before the consonant, making the consonant sharp, sound sharp and clipped. When an English syllable ends with a stop, like P, B, T, D, K, or G, or a strong voiceless fricative sa and sha, the Japanese perceive the final consonant as being long and tend to insert a small tsu. So for example, egg, it will be eggu. So it will be written like this in a and then gu, but in before gu, it will be a small tsu, which will give eggu. Cash, cashew, cashew. So there is a double consonant here. Floppy, furopi, furopi, furopi. Bed, beddo. Then similarly, pet, petto. in that way. Note, notto. So in that way, the rule is that when an English syllable ends with a stop, P, B, T, D, K. So that means without any vowel, the English word ends in this. For example, the word stop, and this will also follow the same rule. Sutoppo, sutoppu, sutoppu. So if it ends with B like Bob, then it will be bobbu. T, as we have seen here, so pet, petto. It ends with D, bed, beddo. It ends with K, strike, sutaraiku. So something like that. And G, we have eggu here. The following words commonly occur with or without a small su. So for example, web, we can just write webu, webu, webu or webbu. Both are correct. High tech, so high techu or high techu. Both are correct here. So it may or may not be followed with. So there are not very concrete rules because since this is conversion from English to from English words, so there is not very strictness. So how you perceive that English word in your mother tongue, that will depend how you will translate it to Japanese. So friends, that's all for now. There has been a lot of things that we have discussed, and now we have completed all of these sections of lesson 2. And in the next lesson, we shall look into the interesting part of this, the conversation between two persons. My major is economics, and then we will discuss that conversation in detail in these two sections, dialogue and usage. And then we will proceed with the exercises and vocabulary. So that's all for now, friends. If you have any questions related to this video, you can either post it in the comment section of this video, or you can email me at saraljapani@gmail.com. Till we meet again, thank you very much for watching this video. Arigato gozaimasu. Matai masho.